I was given a big box of this probiotic soda here called Culture Pop. So I figured, hey, why don't I ask all of you over on Discord and Instagram, what do you want to know about gut health and ADHD while I drink these new sodas? And y'all did not disappoint because I got a lot of questions. So today I'm going to be trying 4 of their flavors and giving you my honest review as a honestly picky person, and also answering a bunch of your questions. We're going to be covering stuff like what do fermented foods actually do for ADHD, the difference between prebiotics and probiotics, whether gut health soda is actually legit for ADHD in general, or if it's just a marketing gimmick. And then my personal favorite, number 4, which is about what probiotic strains have actually been studied for ADHD. So make sure you stick around for that, or you can just skip ahead. Judging by all of your questions on the fact that this company has so many different flavors, I'm heavily thinking of recording a part 2. So if you're interested in that, drop a question in the comments or just say that, yes, I would love to see this. That way I can remember to prioritize it, because honestly, you know, my ADHD brain does not prioritize things unless I'm being told, hey, you should prioritize this. As always, check the description if you want to jump around. And then down there's also a link and a code for 10% off of your order. So basically, you get to support me a little bit, you get cheaper soda, and maybe you might actually like it yourself. By the way, it is sold in stores too. And there's also a store locator on their website, so if you don't like to buy things online, I get it. I don't love doing that either. Just go there. All right, let's get into it. If you're new here, I'm Annika, and I'm an ADHD nutrition research expert. Now go tap subscribe right now so you can go help your ADHD with food. So the 4 different ones that I have today are orange, mango, and lime here. Then lemon lime. They really like their lime because there's another one that's watermelon lime. Anyway, this one's ginger, lemon, and turmeric. This one is strawberry rhubarb. So those are the 4 I'm trying today. Also, I'm not going to be able to drink all of it. So the good thing is that we're actually going to go to my in-laws for dinner tonight. Love them so much. So I'm just going to share these with them there. That's also why I'm not going to try all of them. They have about 12 different flavors, and that's just so much. And I do not want to waste food. So, okay, let's start off with strawberry rhubarb and answer the question, what is the difference between probiotics and prebiotics? Before we get into that, there we go. So what I do like about this company is that it has no added sugar in it. This is all just fruit juice, carbonated water, then some herbs, and also probiotics. I couldn't figure out how many probiotics they put into it. It just says billions on their website, so I should probably reach out to them and ask. So before we try this one, question was, what is the difference between probiotics and prebiotics? So prebiotics are the food for your gut microbiome. They are the food for those little bacteria in your gut. So think fibrous foods, essentially. If you've heard me talk about fiber, you know how much I love it for us. And there's a lot of different types of fibers too that influence how our gut microbiome is being fed. Now, if we want to be really technical, almost anything is a prebiotic. It's just what type of food are we feeding specific types of bacteria. So sugar is technically a prebiotic, but we don't think of it as one because it's feeding the gut bacteria that we don't really love. On the other hand, resistant starches, such as cooling down your rice before you eat it, that is going to feed a bacteria that produces butyrate, which if you've watched the videos I have on the gut microbiome and ADHD, you know that butyrate is very important for ADHD. And then also fiber in general, so your beans, your nuts, your seeds, those are all prebiotics. Now, probiotics are the actual species themselves. When you consume, say, kefir or Greek yogurt or kimchi or kombucha, a lot of these start with the letter K, which is really interesting, but they contain live bacteria. Those are called the probiotics. You can also get them in supplement form, and then obviously this thing also has probiotics. This probiotic is Bacillus subtilis. So let's try this really quick. Again, this was the strawberry rhubarb. This one is sweeter than the ones I've tried before. So I did try their grape one off camera because I was interested. Grape crush soda, you know, I grew up on that. I didn't grow up on it. My family did not give us sodas, except for like the healthy sodas. But every so often I would get one of those and it was great. But yeah, that grape one was actually really good. I enjoyed it a lot. This one, this is sweeter. It does have a bit of an aftertaste. I wonder what that aftertaste could be. It's probably some citric acid aftertaste. Oh, it has some cardamom in it. That's probably what I'm tasting. Wow. Cardamom brings me back. That is such a good spice and it reminds me of Christmas. Honestly, this is actually really good. So the thing with these is that they're not super fizzy. They are a little bit fizzy, not super fizzy though, which kind of brings us into the next question, which is this a good soda alternative? Now, I am of the camp that basically anything that is not soda is a good soda alternative, almost. The thing with soda is that it tends to have a lot of added sugar, and then it also can have a lot of caffeine, and then it also, in general, we tend to overconsume consume it. So putting all of those together, it's kind of a recipe for our brains not to be happy. When we have too much sugar at one time, if you watch this video, I'm going to pin it up here on sugar sweetened beverages and ADHD. Too much sugar at one time, over time, can impact how our brain uses dopamine. And it also impacts the composition of our gut microbiome. The sad thing is that it does not push it into a favorable way. So this is where I like encouraging people to do those really simple swaps, because soda is so good and it's really tasty. If you really love the taste of a specific soda, try to go for a 0 sugar version of it. If you're worried about those added sugars like aspartame, don't worry, it does not negatively affect your gut microbiome unless you are drinking like 64 cans of it a day, which hopefully you're not doing that. If you're really curious about that, again, I have another video on that, which I will link here as well. So is this a good soda alternative? Like I said, it was not very fizzy. It was fizzy enough, not super sweet. I'm a person who doesn't like things as sweet. I used to love sugar a ton, so much sugar I would consume. Like I would have sugar packets on me because I needed it so much. But honestly, this one tastes really good. So I do give the strawberry rhubarb I think it tastes really good out of 10. If you know Liam the Plant Slant, well, love that guy. He makes the best out of 10s. So maybe I'll try to figure this out. Reminds me a little bit of summer and Christmas at the same time out of 10. Okay, but yes, is this a good soda alternative? In general, like I said, almost anything is. I would say this one is actually a good one because it has 0 added sugar. It's also fruit juice. It has probiotic in it, which, I mean, you're already getting benefits from that. Also, keep in mind, I'm not getting paid to say any of this. They just gifted it to me and I felt like this would be a fun video, so I genuinely did enjoy that. Anyway, let's try this one here. It is the orange, mango, and lime. This one I think is one I am second most excited for. I'm really excited for the ginger, lemon, and turmeric one, but the orange, mango, lime I'm really excited for. Here's your ASMR for the day. But here we go. Smell, 10 out of 10. By the way, a lot of things feel like 10 out of 10 to me because I have a very positive and optimistic outlook on life, so I think a lot of things are very good, so whatever. Just gonna give that disclaimer too. Okay, smells really good, but this one was actually fizzier than the other one. I don't know if that was a fluke or not, but I don't know, maybe that will influence your decision. Okay, this reminds me of something. Can't tell what it reminds me of though. Sort of like the Orange Crush, not really. Kind of close though. But yes, this is the orange, mango, and lime. Oh, the mango, that's what I'm tasting. Okay, let's see what their fun flavor in this one was. So, because the other one was cardamom, so they have to have a fun flavor in this one. Chili powder is in this one. That's fun. They also have some added beta carotene and then the same probiotic. Okay, honestly, I think this one is my favorite so far. It's the orange, mango, and lime. Oh, the Doritos. Yeah, like a less fizzy version of that with like no sugar. All right, next question is gut healthy soda legit or just marketing? Honestly, it's mostly just marketing. I'm not gonna lie to you, like duh. Like gut health is a huge thing right now. I'm talking to you about gut health because it's interesting and like algorithm's gonna push it. So yes, gut health and anything related to gut health is pretty much just a marketing ploy. However, what I will say is that this is basically kombucha, but for the people who don't like the vinegar taste of kombucha. The nice thing about this is it also has 0 added sugars in it, whereas it's really hard to find a kombucha without 0 added sugar, or with 0 added sugar. Yeah, a lot of the kombucha on the market nowadays, unless you go for Synergy, I think is one of the only ones that I've found that you can find in most stores that don't have a lot of added sugar to it. So this is kind of nice. It does have sugar in it, obviously, because it's made out of fruit juice, but in general, if you've read through my ADHD diet, it's part of the whole ADHD nutrition manual, which you can get. I'll link that in the description. One of the final steps is incorporating a fermented food every single day. This would count because it has probiotic in it. So really, it's a kind of a fun way of getting that probiotic, and it can also be a great substitute if you're trying to get off of soda, because like I said before, soda cannot be good for your brain. And so this is a good thing for it, plus it can help you in that transition. It is also relatively sweet. So yes, I like this one. This one is better than this one. So this one so far is number 1. Oh, you know, something else I wanted to say on this was, you know, Olipop, and I don't remember the other one. I have not tried either of those, and if you have tried any of those, like the fiber ones, I want to know what you think about them because I am curious about trying them. So what one do you like? Poppy. Yeah, Poppy or Olipop. What do you like better? Get out in the comments, let me know why, so I can figure out what would I want to try first. Okay, so the next question is, what probiotic strains have actually been studied for ADHD symptoms? This one is a little bit more of a complicated question because, well, it's complicated. To be very frank, this one, the Bacillus subtilis, I think that's how you say it, not been studied for ADHD. I believe this one has been studied more so for gastrointestinal distress. Don't quote me on that one, but I'm like 90% sure. Now, I did do a blog series on probiotics and ADHD and that research, so I'm going to link that below so you can read through it and read through those studies if you want to go through that as well. But in general, there is not a lot of research on probiotics and ADHD, like the specific supplements studied and specific strains studied. And it differs between adults and children. So we don't have any specific strain studies for adults. We only have multi-strain studies for adults. And it seems to sort of help, not a whole ton, but sort of. And what I'm thinking here is that honestly, a lot of our gut microbiomes are probably not that great. And so when we're adding some probiotics to it, yeah, maybe that's doing some stuff, but it's not doing a lot because the environment inside of our microbiome, it is not conducive to keeping those bugs alive. So what can we do? Eat more of those prebiotics that we talked about before, which is anything that contains fiber. So really what I'm encouraging you to do is eat a lot of beans, as I do not eat a lot of beans myself. That is one of my 2025 goals that I have not been working very hard on, and I really should be working more on. But anyway, before we get into the other research and more specifics, let's try this one. So lemon lime. This is why I should not do a review channel. I feel so awkward doing this. But I hope that you enjoy learning about my feelings about different flavors. This one also has cardamom, but it has macroot lime leaf. Oh, okay. Immediately I'm getting Sprite, which makes sense because this is lemon lime. I'm not tasting Sprite. I don't know how I feel about this one. It's really sour, actually. So if you're into sour things, okay, it's not really sour, but it tastes like more sour than I was expecting because I smell it and it smells really sweet, but then you taste it, sour. I don't think my brain and my taste buds are connecting very well right now. I'm intrigued though. This one also has a slight aftertaste, like a slight bitter aftertaste. Well, I think this one goes at the end so far out of all of these that we're trying today. So far this is the lineup. I'm gonna drop that. I should not hold all of those at the same time. But anyway, going into the children studies, we have some research on some lactobacillus strains and then also some bifidobacterium strains and then also some mixed probiotic strains. Again, it doesn't seem to help a whole ton. It helps a little bit, but not a lot. Your medication is gonna help a lot more than a fermented food / also a actual probiotic. I do not remember off the top of my head which specific strains of those two have been studied, but in general, bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, those have been studied in general the most for mental health. And in general, they seem to be pretty good. The hard part about probiotics, like I said, is when you consume them, if your gut environment is not happy and ready for them, it could actually make things worse, or it just makes them die off. That is why it's at the last part of my diet where you start off with creating a good environment for your gut, and then we move into populating the gut a little bit more. Now, these things are really fun to have, and I don't know, they taste relatively good, except for this one. I mean, it tastes fine, but I don't know, I feel like I keep needing to try it and let it sit with me. It's like coffee. If you don't like black coffee, you have to keep drinking it and drinking it and drinking it until you like black coffee. You don't have to, but yeah, those are the probiotic strains that have been actually studied for ADHD. Now, as we get into the last one, we are going to try my last flavor that I'm really actually excited about, which is the ginger, lemon, and turmeric one. Like, doesn't that sound so good? I always love that combination flavor of ginger and turmeric, and then ginger lemon is such a classic, especially when you're sick. So I wonder if this will make me feel like that nostalgia of being sick, and I kind of hope not, because I hate being sick with a passion. But before we do, the question is, what do fermented foods actually do for ADHD? Now, this is a pretty complex question because we don't have a lot of research at all. We do have a study that is coming up. His name is Dr. Miguel, and he is amazing. I'm hoping to interview him for my podcast here soon because he is such a kind soul and an amazing person. I'll try to remember to link his Instagram handle below, and he does this Substack. I love reading it and recommend people go and subscribe to that and also read it. Also, shameless plug, I have my own newsletter, and you get to learn a lot of these things every single week about ADHD nutrition and the research behind it, as well as some of my own stuff. That is in the description too. All right, but what has the research shown so far for fermented foods and ADHD? Right, I was talking about that. Kefir and ADHD is the study that Dr. Miguel has been working on. It's not out yet, and so we don't know exactly about that. There was another study that looked at just 9 kids and having a gut microbiome dietary intervention where they supported the gut microbiome through a few different steps. Wow, you could tell because my voice was getting higher. But yeah, there were 9 kids and they went through this 6-week dietary intervention, and in this intervention, they also had kefir. In fact, they had the kefir every single day. And what they found was that all of the kids were able to adhere to it. The kids did not report any improvements in their ADHD symptoms, but the parents and the teachers did report an improvement. That all being said, super small sample size, no placebo group, no control group. This was just a preliminary study. Hopefully they are either in the process of doing a longer one with a lot more people, or they are just waiting for more funding, because I would love to see a larger study on this. That one was done, I believe, back in 2022. So truly, we don't have a lot of research at all on fermented foods and ADHD. What we do have is hypothetical evidence. So what we know is that people with ADHD have different gut microbiomes than those without ADHD. Now, I think this is really interesting because people with ADHD are in those same environments, so you'd think that you would have the same gut bacteria, but you don't. And it's really interesting because the gut microbiome is connected to your immune system, and it's connected to inflammation, and it's also connected to your brain and how it communicates, and it's really incredible, and I want to talk more about that right now, but that's not what the question was. The question was, what do fermented foods actually do for ADHD? So truly, we don't know if it does a lot for ADHD, but we do know that eating 1 or 2 fermented foods every single day is associated with better mental health outcomes. Also know that it's really good just for general health. Before I get more into it, let's try this one, the ginger, lemon, and turmeric. Okay. I wonder if this has a secret flavor. I'm not gonna look at it until I try. This smells like ginger beer, like actually exactly like ginger beer. I love ginger beer, it's so good. I really want to try making my own ginger beer so that it actually has some probiotics in it. Oh, that'd be so cool. Anyway, I don't like that one. Wait, that's actually so sad. I mean, I don't hate it, I just don't love it. This tastes exactly like when I make like when I'm sick, what I do is I boil a ton of lemon and a ton of ginger on the stove, let that boil for quite a few minutes, probably 10 to 20 minutes, and then I drink it. Usually it's hot because, you know, my throat is sore, but I will keep it in the fridge to keep it fresh. Yeah, this tastes exactly like that. So unfortunately, this reminds me of when I'm sick. But like, it's sparkly. It's like a sparkly version of my sick drink. I don't think I'm gonna drink the rest of this. Wow, that was kind of disappointing. I don't want to end the video on that. So I'm gonna end it with this one. This is my favorite. That's the best one. This is the one you should go buy. If you see it in a store, go buy this one. The orange mango and lime. This is the best, objectively, by my personal opinion. Do I have any other thoughts on fermented foods on ADHD? Honestly, no, that was pretty much it. Just, it's a great addition, especially if your gut microbiome is in a place where it can host them. If it's not in a place where it can host them very well, it's probably not gonna do a whole ton for you, but it's a fun way of feeling in your head that you're getting better. So placebo could work, we don't know. Anyway, if you're a student and you want to study something, please go study that. That sounds really interesting. And if you made it this far, hit that like button so that the algorithm sends more of me to you, plus it just boosts this out to more people. Now, I'm gonna go to my in-laws and we're gonna drink all of these, plus a few more of the ones downstairs. And remember, if you have a question that you want answered about gut health and ADHD, make sure you throw that in the comments right now, and I'll try to make sure it gets into the next tasting video if I decide to do that, and let me know if you want to do that, okay? Cool, bye.